You sent me a few links. I mean, a few tabs we could talk about. Let's start with the TikTok one. I think that one is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that really proves just how shrewd Caligula Drumpf is, because in 2020 he was the one advocating for a ban on TikTok, and now he's the one going to the Supreme Court it to delay the ban on TikTok that's set to go into effect next month.
Yeah,
It's foreign owners sell to an American media company. I think Steve Mnuchin was floated as a possible buyer. God, I would hate if he got his grubby little paws on a social
oh
media
Lord,
network.
yeah. Oh
Oh God,
yeah,
that would be
right.
a dumpster fire. But yeah. So SCOTUS blog here, it says the Biden regime on Friday afternoon urged the Supreme Court to leave in place a federal law that requires TikTok to shut down in the United States unless its parent company can sell off the U.S. company by January 19th. The U.S. Solicitor Elizabeth Pilojar, I think that's how it's pronounced, told the
Yeah,
justices that the social media giant collects vast swath of data about tens of millions of Americans, which China could use for espionage or blackmail. Of course, she neglected to point out that that's already being done by Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Muskrat,
exactly.
Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Muskrat.
Yeah,
It's
fucker,
already
yeah.
being done by them. So, and they're also using it for espionage and blackmail. But there's
Exactly.
no actual evidence that China's doing this. It's being convicted on basically the say-so of the United States establishment. So, but she's saying China could not. No, she's not saying could, not is. It says could covertly manipulate the platform to advance its geopolitical interests and harm the United States by, for example, sowing discord information during a crisis. Well, we know that's actually been going on under TikTok since Muskrat bought it, and under Facebook under Zuckerberg, and the other social media platform. Hell, even on Blue Sky, there was a kerfuffle earlier this year
Yeah,
regarding moderation lists that were on Palestinian accounts who are trying to
yeah. I
escape
heard
a
that.
war zone,
I heard that too.
and 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 these same accounts were also placing people on lists of people for supposed transphobia, and the criteria for on those lists could range from actual transphobia, case where I simply use need to refer to someone who's gender neutral, and I use gender neutral personal pronouns, but they're singular, not plural.
Yeah,
And so that was enough to get me listed as a transphobe. So so it's a very bullshit system of
that's
labeling,
crazy.
and it's still going on, even though the original got uh, shut down, but they're back now apparently under different user handles and engaging in the same labeling system bullshit. So, uh, all this is already going on here. So for them to accuse TikTok of doing the same thing that U.S. companies are already doing to try and influence elections in other countries. That's why China banned Google and Facebook, even though a lot of people do use VPNs over there to get around that ban, but get caught, they're up shit creek. Um,
Yeah,
but there's a reason why China banned Google and Facebook and other social media apps, because those apps are proven to have been used and are being used to influence elections in other countries, and also influence color revolutions, which are basically CIA-backed coups.
yeah,
So this entire thing was nothing but 100% pure projection. And the reason why the Democrats picked up the ban from Trump and ran with it was because some Israeli stooge was complaining about how people are expressing anti-Zionist viewpoints on TikTok, and the United States is not able to regulate it. So,
yeah,
he's very frightened that young people are actually seeing the horrors that Israel is inflicting in Gaza and the West Bank, and also Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, pretty much every other country in
ongoing.
the region
Yeah,
that doesn't do its bidding. So, it's like, banning TikTok is not going to stop the anti-Zionist sentiment. If anything, it's just going to make people double down because you're being completely obvious about what you're doing, entirely hypocritical, and also another reason why I think Trump is being very politically shrewd to do this is a lot of people rely on TikTok as their primary or even sole source of income, through ad revenue, through
Yeah.
sponsorships,
Yeah.
and TikTok is the one social media app here available in the West that has the number of tools and the uh, reach that they can make their living, and that they lose a substantial chunk of their revenue. So people tend to vote with their pocketbooks and their stomachs. If you take money out of their pockets, take food out of their bellies, take a roof out from over their heads, they're either going to vote for the opposition or to stay home and not vote at all. And that's exactly what happened last month. Because unlike in 2016, where Hillary Clinton technically won the popular vote, but elections are not popularity contests, they're electoral ones. And so Trump won the Electoral College. Clinton was just such an awful campaigner that she ignored half the country. So in this case, this year, the Democrats, sticking with their 2016 playbook, still have learned nothing. And when you have that level of disgust as last month, I mean, Trump won the popular vote as well as the Electoral College. The Democrats spin this as being a stolen election. He won the popular vote.
Well, have you heard that from before?
By almost 5 million.
Yeah, 5 million votes.
How many of those 5 million were TikTok users who stayed home?
Hey, I didn't even put that into consideration, Left Indy, because like that's common sense. Like, hey, TikTok ban got passed under the Biden administration, so like, of course they gonna vote for of course they're not gonna vote for Biden. They're gonna sit, like you said, sit on the couch or vote for Trump. So yeah, like I should have known like Donald Trump was gonna win. Like the economy is still fucking shit, and like obviously it's like you said, people make a lot of money on TikTok, just like YouTube, and that's like taking YouTube away. Like motherfuckers gonna revolt. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah, and obviously I believe too, like Trump, yeah, like you said, Trump using this as a political gain, like which at this point, like he really don't have to do shit, but you like we know how the game is played.
Yeah, because he filed like an 18-page filing that characterized the first term in office is highlighted by a series of policy triumphs achieved through historic deals. Well, bullshit. But he urged the court to delay the ban's January 9th, take office on January 20th to pursue a negotiated resolution, which presumably would have to include new legislation enacted by Congress. But my guess is he thinks he's going to negotiate some kind of deal that will make him look good, but achieving what Biden and the Democrats hoped to, which is to bully China into selling TikTok. Well, first of all, ByteDance isn't really owned by China; it's owned by someone in Singapore, and a bunch of global investors. So it's not an exclusively Chinese company. But like I said, what they are worried about is the lack of control over TikTok, because they're not able to terminate pro-Palestinian accounts like Meta, which is owned by Mark Zuckerberg, to ban anyone who even hints of that, and they don't have the control that Muskrat does on TikTok to with bots and right-wing trolls and all that. So because basically Muskrat has become basically even more of a haven for the likes of Alex Jonestown and Jordan Peterless and Tim Wash and Tim Fool, people, Glenn Black.
Glenn Black.
Yeah. Notice I come up with all these
Yeah, I
demeaning little
noticed that.
football
Yeah,
nicknames
it's
for
funny.
right wingers
Mike,
because
yeah,
well, they deserve it, and plus they've got no problem doing it to us. I am not getting on
yeah,
my high horse and pretending to be any better than they are.
yeah.
You got to
Doorknob.
fight
That's
fire with
a good one
fire,
too.
and if they're gonna call us names, and dude, just call it right back. Tim
Yeah,
Fool, all
Tim
right,
Fool. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah,
Andrew Taint, all right. I mean, come on,
Taint.
the name invites ridicule, or
Yeah,
Andrew Tater Tot. I mean,
yeah.
to
Charlie Smirk.
yeah.
That racist piece of shit, man. Yeah, but
Yeah, it's like, or Charlie Dork. I don't know.
Charlie Dork. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
better. That's better. Yeah, you better
yeah,
at this
but
than me.
yeah, it's just yeah, you got to have your fun
Yeah,
when discussing right wingers because they make it so easy. But also, it's like look, I mean, I've been on political forums and uh, online political discussion for about 26, 27 years now since. Yeah, I started hitting the public libraries in '97 when I discovered that they had internet terminals and I could go onto Yahoo political chat forums and whatnot. And one of the biggest problems that the online left has is trying to find some kind of civil discourse to have with right wingers. It never works because all that ends up happening is the right wingers browbeat you into accepting their terms of discussion, where they get away with saying whatever they want, and we have to always self-censor for fear of alienating the right wingers and having no one to argue with. And it's like, dude, are you fucking stupid? Like they're not going to reciprocate. They never reciprocate. So you're already ceding control of the discussion. Political debate is not about finding ways to get along with people. It's about getting your message out in a way that resonates with people and convinces them to your cause. And if you're constantly ceding control of the discussion to the other side, no one's going to want to follow you or
yeah.
subscribe to your ideology. I mean, it's
My thing is, you gotta fight these motherfuckers. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like you just can't say, "Okay, yes, sir, right wing. I gotta concede to you." Nah, fuck that. Like, hey, no, as long as they're not my line is, as long as they're not Zionist or racist or xenophobe or whatever, like I'll talk to a right winger, but motherfucker, you gonna listen to what I gotta say. Like, yeah. So, yeah, you're right, man.
yeah.
100%.
So, but yeah, I suspect that Trump will, if he thinks he's going to some kind of deal, he's going to be in for disappointment, not just because Congress will oppose him on this, I think, but also because ByteDance is not going to be bullied into selling off its most profitable arm
Exactly.
in
Money
arguably one of
maker.
its most profitable markets. I mean, because the Chinese version of TikTok is nothing like the one that's
Yeah,
marketed
yeah, it's
in the
totally
United
different.
States.
Yeah, I looked it up.